The following is regarded as Britain's longest ongoing missing persons case, even surpassing the disappearance of Jeanette Tate. It's a chilling mystery that took place in a sleepy area of Scotland more than 45 years ago. This is the mysterious disappearance of Renee Macrae and her son Andrew. Renee Macrae was a 36-year-old separated mother of 2 children. On the night of November 12, 1967, Renee dropped off her eldest son, Gordon Jr., with her estranged husband, then loaded into her car with her youngest son Andrew and drove down the A9 road. The purpose for this impromptu road trip was allegedly for Renee to stay with her sister for the weekend. Just after 10 p.m. that same night, Renee's car was found at the side of the road, on fire. When the flames subsided, emergency services discovered no bodies inside the car's remains. Both Renee and Andrew seemed to have just disappeared. Authorities began an extensive search of the local area, which included a search of the nearby Dalmagary quarry. But there was no trace of either Renee or her son. The amount of questions this case raised was almost insurmountable. How could 2 people simply disappear without a trace? Was there something more sinister at work here? Was someone else involved? Speculation was all anyone could do at the time, but one area that potentially offered some answers as to what happened and why could be found in Renee's personal life. Because as it turned out, Renee had a couple of secrets. A few years before her disappearance, Renee was having an affair with a man who worked for her husband, a person by the name of Bill McDowell. And as it turned out, Renee was not going to visit her sister that fateful night, but instead was going to meet up with McDowell. Another important point to keep in mind is that it's understood that Andrew was actually McDowell's biological son. Did McDowell have something to do with the disappearance of his lover and potential son? Did he plan to rid his life of a person who potentially posed a threat to his own marriage? If so, how did he do it? Where did he dispose of their bodies? No doubt these were all questions that were asked, but aside from admitting to authorities that he did indeed have an affair with Renee, he denied having any involvement in her disappearance. He also had a watertight alibi in the form of his own wife. McDowell's wife, Rosemary, was also interviewed by police in 1986. When questioned about Renee, she responded with the following statement: "I don't know what you're getting on to me for. I never stabbed her or whatever happened to her." Take what you want from that statement. Renee's estranged husband, Gordon Macrae, was also seen as a potential suspect, but he too was also alibied. He also seemed to have little to no motive, since he appeared to have moved on with his life with a new partner and had been on good terms with Renee while separated, even going so far as to volunteer to get her a train ticket to see her sister, rather than have her drive down the road in what was a very stormy night. With no other leads or evidence to go on, it seemed this case was destined to remain unsolved. That was until early 2000s, when there was a renewed interest in the case. A local farmer by the name of Brian McGregor claimed that the bodies of Renee and her son were actually buried under the A9 road itself, going so far as to even mark the alleged location with a yellow circle. While this turned out to be incorrect, there was further enforcement of that claim when one potential suspect fled to the US when he was seen digging up part of the A9 road at the time of Renee's disappearance. In 2004, another full excavation of the Dalmari quarry was made, along with the excavation of another local quarry. All information that had been gathered over the years by authorities was soon transcribed for detectives to take a fresh new look, and in 2018, police made a new appeal to the public for any further information. This all culminated in September of 2019 with the arrest of one person, Bill McDowell. While a trial was scheduled, the sudden onset of the 2019 pandemic postponed the date until September of 2022. During the trial, certain details came to light, such as one witness claiming to have heard a blood-curdling scream from the area that Renee's car was found, and that McDowell had been frantically trying to clean his company car days after Renee's disappearance. After listening to just over a week of evidence, then going through roughly 3 hours of deliberation, the jury found McDowell guilty of the murder of Renee and Andrew, and for attempting to defeat the ends of justice. Now in his early 80s, with rapidly deteriorating health, McDowell will likely spend the remainder of his life locked away. Despite this result, the bodies of Renee and Andrew have still yet to be found.